Well, let me first start by saying that we represent local governments, cities, regions, and for us, of course, they are governments, but they are not parties. They don't participate directly to the negotiations, of course, but they are not civil society either. They are another kind of body which represents the main part of the population because we cover just ourselves in Europe 100,000 municipalities and regions that are eager to contribute to the fight against climate change. So for us, it's very important to be there. Personally, I have been following the COPs for the last 15 years. And when we started going to the COPs, the cities were not even taken in consideration. And years after years, we see that now everybody agrees that change has to happen at local level. And that we have to bring the change from the territories. So for us, of course, it's very important to be there, to discuss with the states, to work also with civil society organizations, with other stakeholders, with all the 9 major groups, to develop policies and think of the change that we want to be in society. Many cities today have developed plans, action plans, to become carbon neutral. Some of them very soon, but all of them in Europe are committed to be carbon neutral by 2050, which is the goal that the European Union has set. And this goal has been set at European level thanks to the engagement of mayors and cities in many cases. So cities are engaged in mobility, in housing refitting, in energy saving, also in developing new kinds of energy, renewable energies in cities, to start to think the model of cities that we want in the future. And I think there are a lot of good initiatives that are taken locally and that can be spread out in Europe, but also outside Europe. We are engaged in many cooperation development programs with partners in Africa, in Latin America, in Asia, to transfer the knowledge that European cities have developed, but also to invent with our partners other ways of development. Well, an easy one is Copenhagen. Copenhagen has committed to be carbon neutral by 2025. For us, it's an example. Of course, many cities say, but we cannot reach that level of engagement, but that's okay. We need cities like Copenhagen who are engaging policies in the next few years to be able to set an example for others. We have other examples. I'm thinking of the city of Lisbon, who is the green capital, European green capital in 2020. And they have developed a very ambitious plan in terms of housing, in terms of energy, that will help the others to see how to manage that. We have in Europe, I don't know if it's a change or a challenge, very different climate, very different settings, very different situation if we go to the north of Sweden or to the south of Spain. But many territories have developed their own engineering to adapt to climate change and also to think of policies that can reduce their gas emissions and set an example for others.